on the grid. And then there's Josh White and Cameron Cooper Horn there as well. Starters hands, racing in number 1, and Chaz Williams gets some whole shot from pole position. Austin Haddard settles into third. We've got a crash already in turn 1. I'd say his handlebar was taken out then.
Yeah, it was pretty crowded going through there. There was a couple of riders on the second row of the grid that went skyward rather than forward as the lights went out as well. Looks like young Ethan Ayard is in 4th place as they make their way through the infield section for the first time. Just trying to see who that is that crashed early on there at turn 1. Can't quite pick up that number. Braxy will have to wait for them to come round right in front of our commentary position, but there is no doubt that our race leader is Chaz Williams.
Yeah, from the Sunshine Coast, been a multiple Australian dirt track champion. He dominated with the OJC category at Sydney Motorsport Park a couple of weeks ago.
How
and
close
he's still
is it?
10 years old.
Yeah. For a couple of months. But Cooper Horn, Austin Attard and Ethan Ayad doing a great job there. Look how closely they're packed in 2nd, 3rd and 4th position. Then there is a little bit of a gap back to Ryder McKenna. I think he's the next rider through on board bike number 24.
Well, that's a great reflection of the experience of the guys at the front that are this in their 2nd year compared to the new kids on the block for 2025.
Yeah, then we've got the 2 South Australians in the field as well. The first of them, Brodie Gorry, on board bike number 14. He had a big crash yesterday, and his younger brother Jake back in 9th position, but Brodie doing a good job in 6th, just ahead of Archie Pope on board bike number 63.
Austin Attard up the inside of having a go at Cooper Horn. He knows he's got to get in front because he can see Chaz Williams disappearing into the sunset. A 44.378 for their first flying lap for Chaz Williams. And Cooper Horn, well, look at them, 4 of them into the 44, separated by 0.5 a second.
Well, you have a look at that. That's GP2 times from a couple of years ago too, and they're doing them now on the 160s. The corner speed they carry through that pit lane hairpin is absolutely amazing on these little bikes.
I think it's every corner you look at, it's pretty amazing.
Chaz Williams elbow down through the fast corners. I think in that lap, maybe Ethan's just dropped off a fraction. Here goes Austin up the inside. Couldn't quite get it done because it was Horn just too late on the brakes. Tell you what, Williams is not getting away now. He's sort of stagnated his gap, hasn't it?
A 44.345 that time, a little bit quicker than his previous lap. But again, these guys within 0.6 of a second in their lap times down to Ethan Ayard in 4th position. So the good point there, Cooper Horn, Attard and Ayard only separated by, just under a second.
That rider that crashed on the first lap, Braxy, that was Josh White, who got tangled up there in the melee at turn 1 on the first lap. Doing a good job putting in some consistent laps now. And you actually have a look, he's actually lapping over 2 seconds faster than Finn Mellerick. So this is a very long race at 20 laps. So I'd say that Josh White will at least move forward a few positions before the end of this race.
Yeah, you can see him closing down the gap. But I'll tell you what, Austin Attard, he's still having a good dip down into that turn number 1, that hairpin. As Chaz Williams now gets out to about 2 seconds already. You know, that we say about the little black book, Phil, but Chaz Williams has been now it's indelibly stamped in the book.
Yeah,
now.
I think he wrote his name in the book in pencil last year, and now he's just he's graduated to his pen license, hasn't he? And put it in there well and truly.
Another dipper. He loves his first corner.
But you see the bikes, both of them moving around massively as they made their way into turn 1. Not really much overtaking opportunity through this part of the circuit because you're constantly going from one side of the tyre to the other, across the little hump. But we've got someone down at the corner before the pit lane hairpin. Can't quite pick up what that number is.
I'll see if they fall down the leaderboard.
It wasn't one of our top 4 riders, we know that much.
A 44.267 for Chaz Williams as he goes through the final turn. And then Ethan Ayard has dropped off this bunch. Oh, again, Attard tries up the inside going to turn 1, but I tell you what, equal to the task is Cooper Horn. He's not letting Attard having any bit of real estate while he's in control in 2nd position.
Well, that lap from our race leader was only 0.3 of a second slower than his fastest lap of the race.
He's settled into the groove, I think, Phil.
And I think that rider that's crashed up there at the corner before the pit lane hairpin is having some trouble getting that bike going again.
So our leaders now come down through the final couple of turns. Metronomic is Chad Williams at the moment. Another 44.
So Adard not close enough to try and overtake on the brakes into turn 1 on that occasion.
Now he's got to think of discretion playing a better part of Valor there at the moment, Phil, too, because he knows that Chad Williams is too far away to make an indent in his race lead. But then he's got to think of the big picture with all the races we've got for the rest of the year. If he doesn't want to do too over-exuberant, trying to get past Cooper Horn, I think he might could come unstuck for him.
I think you might find that was Huxley Nolan that crashed over there because he's dropped back down the leaderboard. Good to see the two young South Australian brothers out here as well, doing a fine job in their first outing here at Oakleigh under competition.
We'll see them come into their own at Monardo, seeing they live just down the road from there.
Yeah, they've done plenty of laps of Monardo. They will be fast there.
What's this one over the back there going through the back of the... Is that... I think that's Archie Pope and Brodie Gore having a bit of a good battle in the mid-pack.
I think you might find it's actually Arav Londi and...
Jake Gore, the brother.
Jake Gore, yes, there they go underneath our commentary position. That is a great little battle there between those two. The all-black machine of Arav certainly stands out because you've got the black leathers, the black bike, and then you've got the very brightly coloured machine for young Jake, the South Australian. And we've already had a Bodie and Jake brotherly duo doing great things in this championship. Now it's time for the new generation, the Brodie and Jake brothers doing a great job.
Lucky for us, the Brodie and the Bodie are the older of the two.
Does make it a little bit easier.
Austin hasn't given up any hope of getting past Cooper Horn, even though Cooper Horn put in his fastest lap of the race on the 8th lap. A 44.178 for Chaz Williams. He's knocking on the door of a 43.
So Josh White has moved up a position from his earlier crash, courtesy of the crash of Huxley Nolan.
That was Jake Gore. Did he get past him going into turn number 1?
Well, I think Jake got past and then Arav came back, but it's going to be sorted out at turn 2 with Jake just getting the better. I think Arav got in there a little bit hot, lost a little bit of drive as well. Back to the Austin Adard attempt at turn 1 for second position on the road. Our race leader is also coming up to some lap traffic, which he deals with in exquisite fashion.
Expertly. Like he's been doing it for years. Well, he has been doing it for years on the dirt tracks of Australia. And I've had the advantage and the honour of seeing these kids on the dirt tracks, Phil. And the way they ride the dirt is just simply unbelievable. So stunning and impressive to watch.
Just a recap of your positions. Our current race leader, Chaz Williams, has a 3.9 second lead over that ongoing struggle between Cooper Horn and Austin Adard for second and third. Then it's Ethan Ayad in 4th place.
They're coming up to a lap rider, so is Austin Adard going to be able to take advantage of this as Cooper Horn gets through? Austin gets the shuffle, no. But the lap rider gets out of the way, but did give an advantage to Cooper Horn by about 3 or 4 bike lengths.
Yeah, Austin will have to try and make that back up now. The next rider that will have to deal with that lap rider, of course, is Ethan Ayad, who's in 4th position. That'll probably be before the end of this lap. Then we've got Ryder McKenna holding down 5th, Archie Pope in 6th, Brodie Gore, the first of the Gore brothers, in 7th. Jake Gore has now moved up to 8th, but some 4.2 seconds behind. Then it's Arav Londi in 9th, Finn Mellerick rounding out the top 10 with Josh White in 11th position. On board bike number 21.
The body language of Chaz Williams, dragging the elbow through the fast turns. He's certainly doing that through the slow turns, but such a joy to watch. He's just so smooth. And I'll tell you what, we're going to see him skide through the back markers here very soon as we just go over on the 12th lap. He's got 4 of them to get through in quick succession. As we see that Austin Adard and Cooper Horn are still hard at it as they go through the infield section for the 12th time. 13th time, as a matter of fact.
There's a fair bit of traffic now coming up for our race leader. So he's going to have his navigation skills tested over the next couple of laps. Because there he comes now, Braxy, past our commentary position.
I reckon he'll sky his way through there like a butter through a bit of...
And the whole thing is that these two groups of riders of 2 are also having their own little battle for prestigious track positions at the moment as well.
Oh,
That was Josh White doing a great job to negotiate a lapped rider.
so Chaz Williams right on the back of this quintet of riders. Now it's a trio as he skies his way up the inside.
Yeah, I think you'll find that was probably FIM MiniGP on board bike number 56 that was dealt with very quickly there. Blue flags being waved to let the riders know that there are faster riders approaching from behind.
Vigorously being waved. He was up the inside, Chaz Williams. I thought he was going to dive bomb that final turn.
I think he'll get Josh White on the brakes into turn one to put Josh one lap down. Considering that Josh had that crash at turn one, he's done a miraculous recovery back to where he is now, that he actually is in a position to be able to overtake a couple of riders in front of him, and he's going to move up a couple of positions there because his lap times, Braxy, are considerably quicker than those riders in front. Trying to chase through our race leader, Chaz Williams, though, is, well, that's a pretty heavy ask.
Certainly is now. Cooper Horn 3.8 seconds behind. Adard just behind him as they're on their 15th lap at 20.
Well, there's going to be some opportunities here as those riders try to deal with the lap riders. On that occasion, though, it was definitely Cooper Horn that got the better of that rider at the hairpin. Oh, Austin Adard comes through on the fastest corner of the track to try and not lose out anything in this battle for second place.
Chaz Williams, he's through and gone into the distance on bike number 18. Cooper Horn now 4 seconds, but he's only got... Adard is looking for a way through, but he just cannot find that magic formula to bust through Cooper Horn's defensive riding. But here's their chance now with three of those riders that Chaz Williams got through the lap before, if he can get through. Cooper Horn's ready to attack him at the moment as they go into the pit complex.
Well, Josh White's also in the middle of that group trying to find his way forward after that crash earlier on. I think he's got an opportunity here. He probably will get that rider in front of him now, just as they come through. I think you'll find that is young Jake Gore on board bike number 13 that's going to fall victim to White now. So White goes past on the brakes into turn one. Attard goes past Horn into turn one as well, using the back markers there to his advantage. Tries to go around the outside of White into turn two. Can't get that job done. He goes up the inside. Great racecraft there from Austin Adard. But Horn goes with him as well.
Yeah, Adard has a bit of a moment coming out left-hander. Gets himself squeezed out there as he's trying to get past the lap rider. The lap rider was having nothing of it. And this has got Cooper Horn right on his tail as they've got just over under 4 laps to go.
Attard, how was the move at the hairpin, Braxy? Straight up the inside. How he got that bike stopped and turned. The back wheel looked like it was off the ground.
Cooper Horn shoving, that was Gore out of the way. Young Jake Gore. Wow. You didn't think that track was that wide.
But you know what? Young Jake Gore now is probably going to hang on to the back of these two, and that might drag him onto a faster lap time and make it harder for Josh White to try and get past.
That's his aim. They're learning every revolution of the wheels at the moment. Adard's still there in second position. Cooper Horn's going to have another attack at him in these dying stages of this race. So our leader, Chaz Williams, now out to a lead of nearly 7 seconds and consistently into the 44s every lap.
So just have a look at the timing monitor. The fastest lap for Jake Gore is a 47.3. The fastest lap for Josh White is a 46.1. That's a big distance on the timing monitor, but out there on track 1 second, it's pretty hard to try and find your way past on this tight and tricky circuit as Adard.
Oh, look at Cooper Horn. They're both down. Three of them all down in turn one. Oh, that wasn't going to work with Cooper Horn. He was the instigator and the catalyst of that one. He's managed to get on the bike quicker than anybody else. Adard's back on.
So I think Horn's got to try and get his bike started. Yeah. Adard's bike didn't look like it stopped running. He's managed to keep going. The only thing is you can see that Austin Adard's brake lever protector is actually hanging down. He'll have to try and probably move that back into position so it doesn't come in contact with the bike. But a big moment there, which is will shape the final results, because what that may have done, Braxy, is put Ethan Ayad up into a position where he could very well end up on the podium.
Yeah, I think it's that's going to go with it. But what a dramatic way to... there was no way that was going to come off. Cooper Horn tried to make the advantage of 2 in 1. Oh, there's been another one run wide. They touched each other. That was, I think that was Archie Pope, was it? Wow.
So a lot of work to do there now for Austin Adard to try and get past all of those riders that he did only a couple of laps ago. He goes up the inside of one of them So we'll wait for them to come round and complete the next lap. There goes our race leader. Chaz Williams round to complete another lap.
That's it. That's the checkered flag out, Phil.
So
Chaz Williams won it by 14.7 seconds. We're waiting for Ethan Ayad
He
to
goes
come
across
through.
the line. He just went across the line too, Braxy, to take out second position.
I know the happiest dad in the pit there is going to... I know who that's going to be, Phil.
Well, you know what? To finish first you got to finish, and he rode a fast, consistent race, and he will take away second position.
With Austin Haddad in third for the 7 seconds back as we wait for Cooper Horn to cross the line after his whoopsie. He's got through in fourth position. So the leading of the newcomers, the novices in the 160 class, will be led by Ryder McKenna in fifth position. Pretty impressive effort, Sterling. 46.2, his fastest lap of the race.
Yeah, and his last lap was only 0.7 of a second slower than his fastest lap. Great consistency there from those guys. But congratulations to our top three. Your race winner, Chaz Williams. Second place, Ethan Ayad. And third place, Austin Haddad. Great start for the MiniGP 160s here at Oakleigh.
And also great start for these young kids in only their third race of road racing for many of them. As we said, Ryder McKenna, Archie Pope, Josh White, well, he raced last year. Good recovery for him to get back to seventh position after that first lap indiscretion. Jake Gore in eighth position, Arav Londi in ninth, Finn Mellerick, Brody Gore in 11th, and Huxley Nolan, as you said, Phil, tasting the bitumen there and bringing it home 3 laps down.